Hello Scorpio, welcome to WhiteFoxAlfred. This is your reading for May 2025. How has your April been? In the Northern Hemisphere, we're coming, spring has sprung, and we're fully in the flow of things, and we're moving out now of this sluggishness and kind of, well, I say sluggishness, it's been pretty chaotic March and April emotionally, but I'm not necessarily sure how everything's going on exactly with you, but I feel like there's been a lot more internal shifts that have been happening within us Scorpios, and less so on the external. The external stuff are things that we've been witnessing in other people, in our relationships, whether it's professional, friendship, or love. So what do we have for Scorpio for the month of May? Take that one as well. Okay, let's have a look. Interesting. So we've had, I feel like this is your March and April here. The Six of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords. What have you been worried about regarding your work? I feel like there's this balancing act that you've been trying to find, that point in which feels healthy to yourself and to those around you, where you're able to give equally to yourself and to others, with your energy, but also your finances, and being able to support your family, your friends, the situation that you support around you, whether it's energetically or monetarily. It's still a support. And this balancing act has caused you some stress. It's caused you some sleepless nights, or even what I feel like it's more just, there's this energy that you've been focusing on how can I better support the people around me with the time that I have, but also do the things that I want to do. Because there's been a shift inside you over the last couple of months where you now know what you want to do with a better grounding than what you did 6 months ago. There's this, what this year has brought so far is this shift forwards into understanding where I want to go and how I want to get there. And the challenge that this reading is showing you is, or reflecting upon this, it was probably the better word to say, is the balancing of these energies that you're currently feeling the weight upon your shoulders, and like how can I best support my partner and do the projects and the activities that I love to do that really fulfill me, whilst also looking after myself. You know, everything's a balancing act, and we can't have too much of one or the other. We've got to find that middle point, and the middle point in your reading today is the Wheel of Fortune, which is wonderful because this is showing us that it's not all in our own power. Life is not in our control. As Scorpios, we love to have control over what we have around us. We like to be, we like to know what's happening, and we can see what's happening majority of the time, and we like to have that stability in knowing what could and couldn't happen in a specific scenario. And with the Wheel of Fortune here, that's saying that God is coming in to support you. And it doesn't have to necessarily be God in the Christian sense, but a higher power is coming in to support you that is helping to shift the situation and it's in the upright position, so to benefit you and the ones that you're focusing on at this moment in time. And then we've got the Judgment card, which is 10 above the Wheel of Fortune, which is echoing this gift from God, this moment of rejoicing, to say your hard work is being met and is being rewarded. Because we're at this stage now where, with the last card in the row being the World card, there is this point now where you're at the end of the cycle of this, and there's a shift about to happen during this month of May that is going to bring you to a new level. It's a bit like, it's like a promotion and I don't mean literal promotion, I just mean like energetic promotion. It's like you've leveled up, you've climbed the ladder, you've got through that next little bit of cloud, and where it was really hard to get through, it was, dark, dreary, you couldn't necessarily see the end of the tunnel, and then you're through the other side, and now you're standing on the top of the cloud where you just went through, and you're like, wow, look at this view, it is beautiful. And then you realise, oh wait, just at the end of this path is the next ladder. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. That's the next one. Okay, got to start climbing that. So that's where you're coming to during this month of May, is this, you're graduating from this current level that you've been at. But it's really important that you acknowledge that you're not doing all of this hard work. You are doing a lot of hard work, but it is not just you. It is just as much spirit supporting you and helping you to move you along up to this World card, for you to see everything that you, with spirit, have achieved in order to take on the steps and the understanding of where to go next. What else does Scorpio need to know for the month of May? I'll take that top card. Oh, there we go, straight away. Interesting, okay. I feel like there might be this energy where you're, with this Nine of Swords here and the Six of Pentacles, there's a tiredness here from you balancing two different projects, whether it's a side hustle, a project that you have on that you're doing at home in your free time, but you're also having to work and earn money, or go to school, university, whatever your situation is. You're having to do your bread and butter, but you also like some jam on top, and actually doing both of those things at the same time can be really tiring, because you're trying to move forward in both, which is no easy feat. Most people out there only have kind of like one main focus, career-wise or job-wise. So when you're trying to shift from one to the other, or do two things at the same time, it can be quite tiring, especially at the start, when you're first building up what it is that you're actually doing. And that's what these cards are also kind of highlighting to me, and this is fascinating, because we've got, the first card that came out was Take Your Time. there's no rush. I understand there's like, you feel passionate about this new project. You want to keep on going. You want to spend a lot of time here growing in this space, getting comfortable in this new space. But you've also got to understand that Spirit is with you. And if you're not looking after yourself, Spirit is having to do extra work to help you to look after you. So if you're, and basically I'm not trying to, Spirit is infinite. We all know that. But the image that I get here is that if they're helping you to just get through the days of doing this side project, putting in this extra effort, then that means they're not necessarily able to then help boost that project in the background after you've done it. They're helping you get into a space to do the project. So in a way, what this feels like is like Spirit is saying, you've got to help yourself for them to help you. And to do that, you've got to take your time with it. There is no rush. Good things, well, let me rephrase that. I was going to say good things grow slowly. But let's look at, like, for example, look at asparagus as a plant. Not many people know this, but when you first plant asparagus, it doesn't grow. Like, you don't harvest it the same year. You have to leave it in the ground for 4 years before you can take your first harvest of it. And then you get loads of it, and it's really good. Most other plants, you plant it and harvest it in the same year. But with asparagus, which is known as a high quality vegetable, you have to wait 4 years for that. But it's so worth it at the end, and you get such an abundance of asparagus with it. If you've got all the other external factors right too. Because the next card that came out was which direction? So there's a part of me here feels like this is reflecting on this Six of Pentacles, which is saying, you're balancing your work, your side project, and yourself, and your loved ones, your family, your partner, kids, all these different things you're balancing. And there's got to be time for you in that as well. And your health. And this is going to be really important this May, because Saturn is moving into your 6th house of work and health, of like daily work and health. And Saturn says, do it right or don't do it at all. And if you want to do it, Saturn will make sure that you do it right. Because if you try and rush it, Saturn will be like, no, slow down. You can't do it like that. You've got to do it properly. You've got to build it up slowly, properly, and well. Taking into consideration your health and your work in equal measure. So there's this point in which during this May where you might be questioning, like, oh, which direction do I go? Do I go in my work direction or do I go in this new project direction? And Spirit is telling you to take time out. So we've not only got take your time, we've got take time out. So Spirit is really saying, chill. It's great that you want to do these things, but there's no rush. You can build it. You don't have to do it every day. You don't have to do it every week. do what's right for you and your family and your friends and your environment. So then you don't hit a burnout. That's really important here. Saturn will make sure that you won't have a burnout. Or if you try to, Saturn will make sure that your burnout is really felt. and that, you realise not to do that again. That's kind of what you're facing here, is this, heed the warnings or you will feel it. And I don't mean that in any sort of threatening way. You're a Scorpio, you know what intensity is like. Saturn can bring intensity to an area, seriousness, and you can meet that. That's no problem for you. So be serious about your health, be serious about your work, be serious about your energy levels. Because it's really important that you take time for you to rest, to contemplate and go into that space that is true rest for you. Whether it's reading a book, knitting, doing yoga, going rock climbing, it doesn't really matter. Somewhere where you can rest your mind and get into your body in a restorative way is really important. That point is really coming across here with take time out and take your time. But Spirit is supporting you here, so that's what I feel like this card is really saying, is that like Spirit is coming in here and saying like, right, I've got you here, like chill, let's have some time to like get you into a really good space, and then we can like make this project really successful, because you're hitting a ceiling this month. And it's really important that you go burst through that ceiling when you're in really good health and really good energy levels and space in a really holistic way. And when I say holistic, I mean, everything, mind, body and spirit are in tip-top condition. That's really important. Right, Scorpio, thank you so much. That went on a bit longer than I thought, but it was really, really clear and a really important message for you. So yeah, thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next couple of weeks. Thanks. And yeah, drop a like, comment and subscribe. Don't forget to do that. And I'll try not to forget to say it.